Hourly or flat rate? This is the big debate in freelancing. Should I charge per project or a flat rate or hourly? Some projects you can actually make more hourly, others by charging per project. The safest way to charge is hourly. You are guaranteed for that every hour you put into the project, you will get a predictable amount of money in return. Although this is the safest bet, charging per project or a flat rate can be more lucrative and profitable. I usually recommend new freelancers to start off with that predictable hourly rate. It makes it easy to predict your cash flow. For more experienced freelancers or people who are industry experts, I highly recommend a per project quote. I showed you in the last video how much I charge for hourly design services. It's taken me a couple of years to get comfortable quoting for a per project rate. The danger of a per project rate is that the scope of the project starts to change. That means the original quoted project, for example, a web design project, starts to turn into something more complicated than originally planned, or you run into problems that need more time to fix. The only way I quote a flat rate project is by making sure I sign a contract with my client that states if the project exceeds the overall original scope of the project, the contract and the rate may increase. The extra work outside of the original project or quote is now quoted as an hourly rate until the project is completed. I love to charge per project for projects I do often. I know how much time it takes to do a logo design for a Tier 2 client. I will charge what I think is industry average for a logo design based on my experience, which is 10 plus years, and I will try to complete that project in as little time as possible while also keeping my quality up. In some instances, if I charge, for example, $500 for a basic logo design for a Tier 2 client, my goal would be to complete the project in about 8 hours or less. So $500 divided by 8 hours is around $62 an hour, a much better hourly rate than if I were to charge my Tier 2 hourly rate. I can do this because I'm comfortable guessing how much time it'll take me to complete the project. If I was not comfortable knowing that, or if I was new to freelance, then that hourly rate would be quoted. I'm going to give you another example of a per project rate where it can work in a negative way. So let's say I have a nonprofit Tier 1 client. They don't have a huge budget, so I quote them only $1,000 for a web design project. Well, sometimes web design projects can easily take 40 plus hours. If I was going to take 40 hours and figure out how much my hourly rate would be for $1,000, it would only be $25 an hour that I would make. And if the project went beyond the scope, which happens a lot in web design project, I could spend 50 or 60 hours. My hourly rate could drop to $15 an hour, and they may not have any additional budget money past $1,000 to give me. So it really depends on the client as well when you got to figure out if you want to do hourly quote or per project. Personally, for my business, I use a free invoicing website called zipbooks.com. They offer free invoicing, but they also have an ability to create a quote or an estimate. It looks just like an invoice, but it's an estimate. This provides a nice professional invoice or quote that you can send to a client and look top-notch. I like to break down my pricing as much as possible to really make sure I am clear and transparent to the future client. I think that goes a long way into winning their trust.